Today we'll be going over chapters 11 and 12, uh, final video. Chapter 12, well, it covers a lot of stuff, so we'll jump right into it. Chapter 11 goes over curriculum, the how the curriculum is developed, the influence on curriculum, standards in the classroom, standard-based education, Common Core State Standard Initiative, uh, controversies on raising standards. Um, so curriculum is basically there's four types of curriculum. There's the null curriculum, the extracurricular or co-curricular program, the hidden and explicit curriculum. I'm gonna try to go over it really quick. I know my last video went pretty long, almost half an hour, so I'm gonna keep this one kind of short. Try to at least. The curriculum reflects the beliefs of society and what students should be learning, and um, and it's based. The curriculum is based on student needs, interests, and it reflects um, professional, commercial, local, state, national, international pressures. And there's three cognitive factors of non-cognitive factors that are being pushed on students, such as grit, tenacity, and perseverance, mindfulness, meditation, academic mindset, and I guess they want these to be to help the students become more productive members of society. Um, and it helps promote growth. And then the curriculum development develops um, develop curriculum with the four questions of the Tyler rationale. Um, what educational purpose should the school seek to attain? Educational experience can be provided. What educational experience can be provided that are likely to obtain these purposes? How can these educational experiments be organized effectively? How can we determine whether these purposes are being attained? Curriculum, um, it's going to be, it builds on the macro or micro to the macro level and present to the future. Curricula varies between student or subject centered, several different subjects with focus, theme, concept. They're trying to make a more rounded student rather than, just uh, um, focused on one area, such as, heavy on math or heavy on English or whatnot. They want a mixture of everything. And they meaning, all, like I said earlier, state, federal, local government, society. The influences on curriculum are influenced by the community, court decisions, students, teachers, testing results, and all these play a factor in how the curriculum is made. Standards in the classroom, there's state and national standards that hold educators to a level or um, hold the students and the teachers for accountable. And the administrators, teachers, everybody has a different perspective on what the students learn. There's the educator, I mean, the teacher, the student, and the administrator all have different ideas on what the students should be learning. And it's kind of hard to balance between these three characteristics. Test results play a big influence in how the administrators deem student learning, and educators want, students that perform well in the classroom behaviorally and academically. Students just want, learning to be fun, interesting, um, And then the standard-based education, it develops the academic standards and assesses students how much they learn and or what they learn. Um, holds the students and the teachers accountable and to a certain standard. Standards reflect the knowledge, skills, attitude of students. The curriculum provides guidelines, instructional assessment strategies, suggested resources, curriculum models of national state standards, and all these, play a role in how the standard-based education is run. And then we jump into the Common Core State Standard uh, Initiative. Um, so the Council of Chief State School Officers and National Governors Association Center for Best Practices (NGA) organized the CCSSI Common Core State Standards Initiative, and this is the K to 12 standards in core areas such as English, math, language arts, and um, these are the big items, big ticket items that they need to learn. Um, and then to close out chapter 11, um, the controversies of, these chapter 11 would be, delay or withdrawal from the Common Core standards. Um, the the Common Core State Standard Initiative is looked at as a federal takeover, and which is not. State standards increase student achievement versus a higher standard decrease emphasis on subjects. No Child Left Behind Act. Um, Students make adequate yearly progress, and if they don't, the schools go into they get a bad report, like APS. How they're ranked. The schools are ranked from A to F or whatever, and depending on how their students do, is where the school is ranked. And it's each year it's different for the school. They can go up or down on the scale. Um, State tests could hurt extracurricular activity for students. We're going to see this again in chapter 12. But we're going to see how the state tests, the high stake testing is going to be, could hurt students doing extracurricular activities such as football, wrestling, or graduation process for that matter. And, the students are so wound up on these tests that, it plays a big part of their academic involvement in high school or junior high or whatever. And if they don't pass these tests, a lot's riding on it. So they couldn't play sports or graduate. And the upside to this is if the school does well, they get higher funding and more rewards. And the bad side to this, downside to this, these tests can influence socioeconomic status for more wealthier um, families. These tests can help the student to, achieve higher standards later on in life. And then, the downside to this is the the lower socioeconomic class (SES). The other spectrum of this would be students dropping out that are, you know, of students of color, students with low income, and that just have a lot against them in society. And these tests can force these students out of the education environment. And then we jump into chapter 12, the role of assessment, standardized testing, high-stake testing, methods to assess learning, trends in classroom assessment, high-quality classroom assessment. So back to the role of assessment. Schools are constantly assessing students, teachers in the classroom, administrators at the macro level, and students. And then to assess students, we can determine how they are learning, the feedback student that enhances student learning, make strategies to better the teacher's involvement in the students' lives. Students reach levels of performance, standardized testing. Standardized testing is pencil and paper and a lot of whole group of students pulled together to do a test. And the scores can be compared with other students. The high stake testing, like I said earlier in chapter 11, about the extracurricular activities, graduation, funding, SES, socioeconomic status, how wealthier kids have more of an advantage at these tests, and the lower socioeconomic status spectrum have it all stacked against them. So it's could be a bad choice for poor people. And then methods to assess learning. There's formal, informal, qualitative, quantitative assessments, measurement and evaluation techniques, formative, and summative evaluation. Summative evaluation. Can't read my own writing. And trends in classroom assessment, alternative assessment, authentic assessment. So there's like 7 different assessments to an alternative. There's authentic, portfolio, performance, peer, self-assessment, alternative, and these can you can mix and match, and it's not all based on one area. Oh, I'm sorry. And then there's the project-based learning. And then to close out chapter 12, the high quality classroom assessment, validity, reliability of high quality classroom assessments, pre-established performance through rubrics. So there's different types of rubrics. There's a holistic and analytic, and these are not preordained, but they are the students already know what they're going to be tested on or what they're going to be evaluated on as far as their performance, the performance of their pitch, or the content of their involvement. And so, and then there's like I said, there's really no set way to assess learning, and it ultimately comes down to what's best for the student, or the student knows the best way for them to learn. There's different avenues of approach to assess students, and there's not one way. And I achieved my goal at 14 minutes, so I hope this video wasn't too unbearable. Thank you for watching.